Steven Andress here for thelines.com. In this video, we will take a look at a preview for the John Deere Classic on the PGA Tour. We'll also look at the opening odds after a slew of withdrawals, including the favorite Daniel Berger shaking up the top of the odds board for this tournament. And towards the end of the video, I will share some of the outright bets that I have placed for this challenging field to handicap. So before we get started, you can always find John Hasselbauer's PGA Tour previews on thelines.com. Just on the homepage, you can find it. You can see it right here for the John Deere Classic. If you happen to watch this later in the week, closer to the start of the tournament, and it's not in the top four, you can always find it on our odds tab under golf, John Hasselbauer, and you click on the John Deere preview. So as this loads, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you aren't already subscribed, hit the like button. Let us know in the comments who you are playing in the John Deere Classic. And for some free contests for both golf and the rest of the sports that are still on the calendar right now in the summer, you can go to play.thelines.com. And again, at the end of the video, we'll show you a couple contests that you can join for free. Give yourself a chance at winning a gift card of a bunch of different values depending on the sport that you're playing for that contest. So stick around for that at the end. All right, the John Deere Classic. We mentioned Daniel Berger was a withdrawal on Monday, and that shook up the top of the odds board for the favorites now. Only two top 75 golfers in this field from the official World Golf Rankings, and at the top here, only one of them is there. That's Webb Simpson, anywhere between 10-1 to 14-1, depending on where you shop. Adam Hadwin is short as 10-1 at DraftKings. Theegala near the top here after a heartbreaking second place finish a week ago. But in a weaker field, he finds himself towards the top of the list here. Denny McCarthy, great short game, one of the best putters on tour. Charles Howell III among the favorites as well. The other player that is among the top 75 in this field, along with Webb Simpson in the official World Golf Rankings, Christian Bezuidenhout, the South African. So it gives you an idea of what we're dealing with here. A lot of the biggest names on tour taking the week off, getting ready to go overseas for the couple of events in the UK and Scotland. Scottish Open coming up next week. The 150th Open Championship, aka the British Open, is at St. Andrews in mid-July. So some of the guys getting ready to gear up for that. A couple players like Shane Lowry, Tyrrell Hatton playing in the Irish Open this week. So a chance for some young names, some up-and-comers to really make a mark here, get a win on the PGA Tour, and lock in guaranteed status for the next few years here. So potentially a chance for us to get a price on a guy with some of the biggest names on top, not exactly having a ton of win equity. So what do we know about TPC Deere Run, where this course will be played? It's in the Quad Cities in the border of Illinois and Iowa, and it's been pretty good to Midwesterners. Players like Zach Johnson, Steve Stricker, Kevin Streelman, Doug Gim, and Adam Schenk have enjoyed putting on some shows here in TPC Deere Run. So keep that in mind. You can check out some more of John's preview of the course in his article. And one of the things we like to look at here each and every week in the preview are the course specs. So we're looking at 7,268 yards for this course, almost 400 yards longer than last week's course. Par 71, 3 par 5s this week, bent grass greens. And if you look at the winning score of past champions of the John Deere Classic, you better make your birdie putt opportunities, because Lucas Glover, 19 under, Dylan Fratelli, 21 under, Michael Kim, 27 under, Bryson DeChambeau, 18 under, Ryan Moore, 22 under. Opportunities and converting those opportunities are going to be very important this week in the John Deere Classic. So, key stats to consider for this tournament. As always, strokes gained on approach, strokes gained ball striking, a staple of what we're looking at each and every week. We want to know who are hitting their approach shots closer to the pin compared to the rest of the field. Strokes gained around the green. Birdies are better gained. I also included opportunities gained, which looks at how often a player is hitting a ball to 15 feet or closer to the pin. I want as many of those opportunities as possible with some of those past champion winning scores. Par 4 scoring is important at this course. Par 5 scoring from 550 to 600 with 3 par 5s. And John's also looking at strokes gained total from easy courses, maybe mixing in a look at who putts best on bent grass greens, some 3-putt avoidance. You're going to have to go low this week, so avoiding those mistakes and getting those opportunities are going to be really important. What else do we want to know about this event? So we can look at some correlations here to see how the John Deere Classic has panned out compared to the average PGA Tour event. And as you can see, strokes gained par 4 is at the top of the list. Some of these stats that we don't care about as much, par 4 scoring from 450 to 500 gets downgraded a little bit. Strokes gained on par 3s gets really downgraded down to outside the top 20. Strokes gained off the tee downgraded as well. We want guys that are strong iron players and can convert those opportunities as well this week. So Davis Reilly was his player spotlight. Unfortunately, he was one of the withdrawals as well. We left it up there in case you want to take a look at a good young player who is emerging on the PGA Tour, a guy to keep in mind for future weeks, so you can check that out. But we'll skip ahead here to kind of the player pool that John is looking at for this week. We usually record this on Monday, but with so many players in and out, uncertainty on who was going to play, we waited till Tuesday. So as I record this, afterwards, we'll get up John Hasselbauer's long shots from this player pool that he's considering for both DFS and also a sprinkle to see if you can hit at a big number on an outright. Some guys that you can consider in top 10, top 20 markets, top 40 markets. So keep an eye out for that on the site. And then on Wednesday, as always, John will have his full betting card for the John Deere Classic. So in his model this week, who does he like? Well, he liked Daniel Berger, but he's not there. After Berger, Adam Hadwin, Davis Reilly, who's another withdrawal, CT Pan, Mark Hubbard, Maverick McNeely, Charles Howe III, JJ Spawn, Lanto Griffin, and Chris Stroud. So that's who was kind of near the top at his model. As you can imagine, Adam Hadwin in this type of event has skyrocketed to the top. If you do like him, shop around, because anywhere from 10 to 18 to 1 right now, depending on where you shop. I believe that's still a fair number. Let me check our updated favorites board up here just to make sure that's accurate on Hadwin. Yeah, you can still shop around and get a decent number on Hadwin with Webb Simpson still there near the top. But some of these other guys, CT Pan, Mark Hubbard, Maverick McNeely, they've kind of seen their odds shorten with the favorite Berger no longer being in this field. McNeely was 40 to 1 before the Berger withdrawal. He's anywhere between 25 and 33 to 1 right now. Brandon Todd is a guy that I would take a look at. He didn't service in the top 10 of John's model, but the model that I put together this week did like Brandon Todd. He's also a guy who has won multiple times on the PGA Tour in this weaker field. The fact that you can still maybe get 35 to 1 on him, I think, is a fair price. Another guy that I bet is Nick Taylor. He's in pretty good form, but I don't know if I can justify the odds that he is at right now at 35 to 1. Before the Berger withdrawal, I was able to get Nick Taylor at 66 to 1. So again, another example of some of these guys who are really seeing their odds shorten. But maybe there's still some guys down here that we still like. JT posted another guy that John tweeted that he liked at 80 to 1 at the start of the week, all the way down to 45. You still get a 50 on him. Not the worst in the world. Cam Davis is an intriguing name. I have not bet him, but a guy who has won on the PGA Tour. In decent form recently here, the young Australian. You really have to, I'm going to be honest with you guys. With this being a weak field with a bunch of players that don't have a lot of win equity, you can go one of two ways. You can put together your model and decide if you want to stick with the guys at the top of the model, even though they aren't traditional winners. Or you can try and pick off some names that maybe haven't played as well lately, but have done well in the past. You know, they've contended in tournaments, and try and go that route. So, I mean, if you go that route, you're going to maybe land on a guy like Adam Hadwin or Tigala at shorter numbers than you are comfortable playing. So it might shorten your card up a little bit. Maverick McNeely is a young talent who has played well in weaker fields. You can go with another guy. Cameron Champ is the one name of a guy who didn't surface in my model, but is a proven winner. Cashed for me at 130 to 1 at the 3M Open last year, only getting 55 to 1 in this field, but he bombs it. He should have wedges in his hand for all of this tournament. So if he's hitting it straight off the tee, he could have a bit of an advantage on his tee shots this week. So 55 to 1, I think, is a fair price on Cam Champ, a proven winner on this tour, who's a young player. He's streaky, he's inconsistent, but if you get a peak week for him, he should contend in a field like this. We mentioned Doug Gim being a local guy, 60 to 1 for him. He's typically a guy that plays better on shorter courses. This is a little bit longer for him. The one guy I want to throw out there to you that surfaced for me, who was near the top of the rankings this week, who was right up there with Adam Hadwin, Martin Laird, the Scotsman. Despite Berger not being in this field, you can still get him between 50 to 70 to 1. Played well last week. So I bet him at 66 to 1. There's now a 70 on him. I think that's a fair price. I think that's a good dart throw for this week. I know some people are on Outerbound Lahiri, played well at the Players. Didn't surface for me. I didn't play him, but if a 70 to 1 is there, it's hard to argue against that. I'll give you one other guy who most of you probably have never heard of. He's if you go back his last 3 tournaments, he's done very well. Top 25s. He's got a top 10 mixed in there. John Huh. Huh is how you spell his last name. Been on tour for a while. Never really has done much. I bet him at 66 to 1 on Monday. He is 45 to 50 to 1 as we record this on Tuesday. That's a guy I kind of sprinkled on. That's a model favorite this week. Pretty strong in all of the stats that we consider, that we like. If you dig into his approach numbers, he is in the top 20 in several proximity categories with wedges in his hands from 125 yards all the way down to 75 yards. So he should be among the elite in this field with a wedge in his hand. That should create more opportunities for him for birdie putts, just a matter of whether or not he makes them. But that's a guy that I can take a shot on in a field like this. In a normal event, I would never bet him as an outright. In a weak field like this with only 2 top 75 players from the official World Golf Rankings, that's a guy that I will roll the dice on. I bet him at 66 to 1. With Berger out, he's down to 50, but I still think that's worth rolling the dice on him. All right. For the rest of our outright bets, not just from me, but for the rest of our line staff, you can always go to the top right-hand corner of thelines.com, click on the Discord button. You can join for free, and you can go to our golf discussion server, and you can see our community here discussing all the different angles that we're looking at. This is where I alerted everybody that Berger was going to be a withdrawal Monday morning, so that if they wanted to get some numbers in before they got slashed in half for a lot of these guys, they were able to do that. So added bonus there, added incentive for you to join to make sure you know the latest news and information that is affecting betting numbers. And under the staff bets in the golf section, you can find what the rest of our staff is betting for the John Deere Classic. You can see my outrights there. Our director, Brett Colson, has some of his, and John Hasselbauer has shared some of his ahead of his full betting card that'll be posted on Wednesday. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Best of luck with the John Deere Classic. Certainly would not blame anybody who did not want to bet this tournament, considering the strength of the field. Maybe a good chance to take a week off from golf betting, 4th of July weekend, go spend some time with some family and friends. And get back at it as we head to the links courses for the Scottish Open and the and the British Open at St. Andrews here in the next couple of weeks. As promised, before we wrap up, free contests always at thelines.com. Just go to play.thelines.com. You can check out the John Deere Classic Challenge there. Click on that. Type in your email address and you'll be sent information when it goes live. Not quite live yet on Tuesday, but check back Wednesday before the tournament starts and you'll see your opportunity to win gift cards there. Daily MLB Challenge, UFC 276 Challenge as well. We got NASCAR going in here. Chances to win Amazon gift cards for free at thelines.com. Again, that's play.thelines.com. Thanks so much for watching. Best of luck with your golf betting and enjoy the John Deere Classic, and a happy 4th of July to everybody out there.